Hello students, myself Dr. J.P. Sridhar, Associate Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering, SJBIT. I welcome you all for lecture videos on DSP. Today I am going to discuss on very important topic, that is design of IIR filter by using bilinear transformation. Students, here in last class we know how to design a digital IIR filter by using impulse invariant transformation method. There are a lot of limitations we are faced in impulse invariant transformation, mainly the mapping from one to many from S plane to Z plane. So this will cause the aliasing effect in designing the digital filter by using impulse invariant method. So to overcome that aliasing effect, one of the most powerful method is bilinear transformation. Let us see how this bilinear transformation method is more effective than the impulse invariant transformation while designing the IIR filter. In impulse invariance transformation, whenever sampling takes place, problems due to aliasing will occur. This aliasing will take place in the frequency domain. Hence, to design high frequency filters, so using impulse invariant transformation, sampling frequency should be very high. This will limit the use of impulse invariance method. Okay, so in generally, impulse invariant method can be used to design only low pass filters, whereas this bilinear transformation can be used to design any filter, whether it is low pass, high pass, any kind of filter can be designed by using bilinear transformation. So let us discuss here a different type of mapping from an analog to digital domain, that is from an S domain to Z domain. Here also, which will overcome the limitation of impulse invariance method, that is mapping in S domain to Z domain in IIT is one to many, whereas in case of bilinear transformation, mapping from one to one mapping is possible. So when we do the one to one mapping from S domain to Z domain or S plane to Z plane, the chances of aliasing effect is very less. It has to be minimized. Overlapping will be neglected. So the bilinear transformation can be used for transforming an analog filter to a digital filter. So how to do that is, how to transfer the mapping from S plane to Z plane in bilinear transformation. So S is your analog pole to digital pole, or Z pole, that is Z domain, Z plane. So the transformation is given by S is equal to 2 by T into 1 minus Z inverse divided by 1 plus Z inverse. Okay, this is the transformation formula used to convert your S domain to Z domain transformation. It can be also rewritten as S is equal to 2 by T into taken Z inverse as 1 by Z. So take Z as an LCM, you will get Z minus 1 divided by Z plus 1. So Z will be get cancelled. So this is also another transformation can be used alternatively. Either you can use equation 1 or equation 2 to convert the S domain S plane to Z plane transformation. So similarly, the relationship between S, that is an analog pole to digital pole, that is Z, is given by, we know S is equal to sigma plus j omega, that we used already. Okay, what is sigma and what is omega in Chebyshev filter design, and Z is equal to R into e to the power of j omega, R into e to the power of j omega. So therefore, wherever we will have Z here, we can replace that Z by R e power j omega. So, okay, so I will put S is equal to 2 by T into, I am putting in equation 2. What is that? Z is equal to R e power j omega minus 1 divided by R into e to the power of j omega plus 1. We know that what is e power j theta? E power j theta is equal to cos theta plus j sin theta, or if in the theta, if it is omega, e power j omega is equal to cos omega plus j sin omega. So now I will substitute R into e power j theta, that is cos theta plus j sin theta. I will substitute here cos theta, e power j omega is cos theta plus j sin theta, or cos omega plus j sin omega. Here omega is there, and of theta I will take it as omega, and I will simplify and I will write it directly to reduce the number of steps. So I will get it 2 by T into R cos omega minus 1 plus j into R sin omega divided by R cos omega plus 1 plus j into R sin omega. So to simplify this equation 3, we have to do the rationalizing on the right hand side. So I will multiply this equation with entire r cos omega plus 1 minus jr sin omega divided by r cos omega plus 1 minus jr sin omega. I will do that rationalization, I will do, and I will multiply, and these two will be the denominator also has to be multiplied. So I will get r into r square, cos into cos square omega minus 1, I will get plus r square sin square omega plus j square becomes minus 1, so minus into minus plus, so we will get this plus. Okay, so r square sin omega divided by r cos omega plus 1 whole square, here j square becomes minus 1, so minus into minus plus, so r square sin square omega. So now I will simplify. Here r square cos square omega minus 1 plus r square sin square omega plus j 2r sin omega, and this can be written as a plus b whole square, a square plus b square plus 2ab. So I will get it 1 plus r square, 1 square is nothing but 1 only, so r square cos square omega plus 2r cos omega plus r square sin square omega. You know sin square theta plus cos square theta value is 1, sin square theta plus cos square theta value is 1. So I'll use that simplification here. So 2 by t into r square, so cos square omega plus sin square omega minus 1 plus j 2r sin omega divided by 1 plus you take r square as common, cos square omega plus sin square omega plus 2r cos omega. This value remains 1 because sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So this value is also 1. So I'll simplify r square minus 1 divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega plus j into 2r sin omega divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega. This is a simplification, we get it here. Now we know this, separating the real and imaginary term, this part indicates the real term and this part indicates the imaginary term, a plus ib or a plus jb. So this a is the real part and b is the imaginary part associated with j. Okay, so now I will simplify, separate this real and imaginary part. So therefore we know s is equal to sigma plus j omega. The sigma is the real part and omega is the imaginary part. So what is sigma? So sigma is equal to 2 by t into r square minus 1 divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega, and what is omega? 2 by t into 2r sin omega divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega. So from this equation 5 and equation 6 we can see that r, we can write it, if the value of r is less than 1, if the value of r is less than 1, then the sigma value is negative, that is less than 0. This means that the left hand side of the S plane, whatever the poles located at left hand side of the S plane is mapped inside the unit circle in the Z domain. Inside the unit circle in the Z domain where the magnitude of Z is equal to 1. Now if r is greater than 1, that is if r is positive value, then sigma also it is greater than 0, that is positive, then the right hand side of the S plane, whatever the poles located at right hand side of the S plane is mapped the outside the unit circle, that is okay, whatever the poles located at right side in the S domain are mapped in Z domain outside the unit circle. And third case is if r is equal to 1, if r is equal to 1 then the sigma value is equal to 0. This means that the imaginary axis in the S domain is mapped on the unit circle of the unit radius 1. If any poles are located on the imaginary axis in the S plane is mapped to the unit circle of unit radius 1 in the Z domain. So the figure below shows here the mapping of the S plane into the Z plane with the bilinear transformation method we are seeing here. Now what are the poles located at? If the poles are negative, if the poles are negative means r is less than 0, then sigma is also less than 0. The poles which are located left of the S plane is mapped inside the unit circle, in Z domain. Similarly, if r is greater than 0, that is positive value, if the sigma is greater than 1, then the poles located on right hand side of the S plane is mapped outside the unit circle, in Z domain, Similarly, if the poles in S domain are on the imaginary axis, that is sigma is equal to 0, it is nothing but r is equal to 0, then we are mapping all the poles on the imaginary axis in S plane is mapped to the unit circle in the Z domain, Now we know this omega is equal to frequency warping. Okay, so once they will give the digital frequency, we not take directly the digital frequency to design the digital IIR filter. So we have to do the frequency warping and convert that digital frequency to corresponding analog frequency, then design the analog low pass or analog filter, then convert by using frequency transformation technique, convert that corresponding analog filter to digital filter. Now I am considering the imaginary part, that is omega is equal to 2 by t into 2r sin omega divided by 1 plus r square plus 2r cos omega. So imaginary axis, that is j omega, is mapped on unit circle. So therefore r is equal to 1 in equation 1, we will get 2 by t into 2 sin omega divided by 1 plus 1, 2, that is 2 plus 2 cos omega. So I will simplify, take the common here, 2 will get cancelled. I can write sin theta as 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. 2 sin theta can be written as 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2, I will written here, and 1 plus cos theta can be written as cos square 2 cos square theta by 2 here. So I will simplify here. So 2 by t into 2 sin omega by 2 into cos omega 2 by 2 divided by, so 2 cos square omega 2 can be written as cos omega by 2 into cos omega by 2. So we will get cancelled. We will get 2 by t into sin by cos is tan omega by 2. Therefore omega is equal to, I need digital frequency omega, so omega is equal to 2 into this, you can take tan into left hand side, it will become tan inverse of omega t by 2. So this is the frequency, this is the formula used. Okay, that is the digital frequency can be used here to find omega is equal to 2 tan inverse of omega t by 2. Okay, so sometimes they will in exam also obtain the relationship between analog frequency and digital frequency. So how to convert this analog frequency to digital frequency, this is the formula I am going to use. Omega is equal to 2 by t into tan of omega by 2, or omega is equal to 2 into tan inverse of omega t by 2. So this can be derived. With this I will conclude this lecture video. Thank you.